I'm a senior in high school and I have a stepsister who is the same age as me. My mom and her dad have been married since we were 10. We both started school again yesterday. A couple of hours into my online class, my mom comes to my room to talk to me. She said that since I have more than enough money to put myself through college, how would I feel about sharing some of that money with my stepsister who does not have enough money? I lost my paternal grandparents 3 years after I lost my dad, so I inherited a lump sum of money. My mom and stepdad had saved some money, but a few crappy things happened to our house, so now apparently there's not enough for my stepsister to go to college. But I don't feel responsible to put her through college. I also don't feel like my paternal relative's money that's now mine should be used for her. She was nothing to them, and if we're being real, we have no relationship beyond living in the same house either. I told my mom no. She said she was disappointed in me. Later on that night, my mom and her husband pulled me into the kitchen to discuss some things. They told me I'm being selfish and that she's my sister. I said even if she is my sister, it's not my job to help her through college, and that's my money, and it will not be used for something I do not approve of. Apparently, I'm the asshole for refusing, according to them. So it got me thinking, should I help my stepsister out?
I would like to order a cake. I know you are booked out the next month, so I want to get my order in. Are you available? Yes, I am. Can you please fill out an inquiry form, and I would be happy to give you a quote. Inquiry form. I would like one of your Giada cakes with a birthday message, with all the fondant rocks and rice paper sales, in a gift box delivered exactly at this time. Of course I can. Sends quote. Read. Week before her event. Just checking in about the cake. Hi, unfortunately, I am no longer available. I never saw your email. I'm so sorry. As per my policy on my order form, dates are not held without payment. Since the email and quote were viewed the day they were sent, I assumed you were no longer interested.
Story time! So, about a year ago, me and my roommate had decided that we were going to move out of our current living situation and move in with someone still on our premises. So we went and had a meeting with these two girls, and we realized very quickly that they were watching a super religious movie. After a couple conversations, I looked up at the wall and saw these like house rules. And basically they said no boys, no profanity, no leaving the house after a certain amount of time, weekly room inspections. Like there was about 20 of these rules, very, very strict. Come to find out the girls were Mormon. So we just decided that that wasn't going to be a good fit for us and decided to live elsewhere. About 3 to 6 months later, my roommate sees one of the girls in downtown drinking, which was one of the rules that you weren't allowed to drink. The girl walks up to my roommate and goes, "Hey, by the way, we're really sorry, but we lied about being Mormon because we didn't want to have to share our place with anyone else." When my roommate told me this, my mouth dropped.
I work as an assistant for a really big fashion company. We had a defective wedding dress and my boss asked if I knew anyone we could give it to. My best friend recently got engaged, so it was perfect. When she posted on Instagram to thank me and my boss, my family caught wind of it, and that's when the influx of calls came. I do not have a good relationship with my family. My parents kicked me out when I was 16 after I came out to them, and my sister wasn't much better. They demanded to know why I gave the dress to my friend and not to my sister. I didn't even know she was engaged. They suggested I try to take it back from my friend as family should always come first. My sister even tried to call my boss to complain. I just got off the phone with my mom, and this is how the conversation went. She says my sister is very upset about the dress, and I told her she needs to get over it. My mom says I can make it up to them by giving her another dress. I posted one last night on my Instagram. It's a $12,000 dress, and that's the one my sister wants. And I told her, "You expect me to give you a $12,000 dress when you kicked me out when I was 16? My mom says, "That was a long time ago, and we're talking about your sister, not me." When I refused to give the dress, my mom says the least I can do is help her buy one. At this point, I hang up, and I've been avoiding them since then.
I started dating this guy last February, and for Easter he invited me to his family's house, and I really wanted to make a good impression. He was like, "Don't worry, they'll love you. The only thing is that my mom is obsessed with her dog, so make sure you're nice to him." I'm like, of course I'm gonna be nice to her dog. I love dogs. So we get to his house, and the first thing we see is this loud yapping chihuahua running towards us. It's like missing patches of hair and has this really bad underbite, but I was like, "Oh, what a cutie." Mom's like, "Isn't he so cute? That's Peter. Who names a dog Peter?" So we go to the kitchen, and then all of a sudden Peter starts vigorously humping my leg. His little pink wiener comes out. The mom's like, "Oh, he does that." He keeps coming back and humping it. So I go to the bathroom, and in my purse I have this little lavender perfume oil that I rub all over my legs, hoping that Peter won't like the smell of lavender. I go back out, we sit down for dinner. Peter goes under the table and starts licking my legs for the entire dinner. So finally we go home, but then his mom calls the next day, and she's crying because she had to take Peter to the vet because he was throwing up all night. I felt so bad. That dog ingested way too much lavender oil, and it's definitely my fault, but I don't say anything. Peter ended up being fine. He fully recovered. I never went back to his house because I was avoiding Peter, tiny, horny chihuahua.
Part 2 about how my gym teacher's wife found out that he was having an affair with me. So like I said, his wife was supposed to be gone the whole night because she was at the bar with her friends and they were supposed to get in a hotel. So he invited me over. So we went swimming in his pool, then we did the nasty. Well, a few hours later, him and I were sitting on the couch watching a movie. And his wife kept calling him. But he just kept ignoring it, saying that she was fine and he didn't want to answer the call and ruin our time together. So we go upstairs, lay down to go to sleep. And it's like 4 a.m. at this point. So I shit you not, literally an hour later, I wake up to his wife carefully shaking me to wake me up. She goes, honey, come downstairs. I don't want to wake him up. He has work tomorrow. And I'm like, what the actual fuck? So I went downstairs and she's like, sit at the table with me. So we're sitting at the table and she's like, I hope that we can keep this quiet. She was like, my husband's done this before. And that she can't have any of her friends knowing or anybody at school because she's a PTA mom. So she offered me money to keep my mouth shut. And then she let me go back upstairs and lay with him. What the fuck?
My thoughts while at work. Okay, let's do this thing. This is the ugliest effing shade of blue I've ever seen. Whoops, that blob is too high. Don't fall over. God damn it.
Wow.
I need somewhere to scrape this crap off. Don't fall. Let's try this again. 357 357 357. Is it time to go home yet? It's too damn hot in here. Okay, nailed that shit.
This is why you should think twice about letting kids stay home alone. I lived in a small village where everyone knows everyone and I could count the amount of houses on 2 hands. Nothing ever happened there, proper out in the stick stuff. One night, a few years ago, my mom and stepdad had gone out for this concert. They left me in charge of my little brother and dog. I was around 14 years old and I felt really proud that my parents trusted me enough to do that. I thought I was a cool sibling and an even cooler babysitter by staying up late, eating pizza, etc. Around 10:30 p.m. the power cut out. I didn't think anything of it because the weather hadn't been great lately and I figured that had something to do with it. I got some candles out of the cupboard and lit them, then put on some of our favorite songs. As soon as I sat back down, my little brother Sonny turned to me being the weird little kid that he was and told me in the calmest way possible that there was someone outside. I was a little unsettled by this, but our dog hadn't done anything, so I assumed it was just the neighbors. Sonny just shrugged and went back to his drawings. It was about 45 minutes after the power went out and I knew my dog needed to go out to do business. I told Sonny to grab him a biscuit while I let him out. When I opened the door, Sonny pushed past me and said, I know you're out there and I'm calling the police. That's when I hear rustling from just above the doorway. When I looked up, I was terrified to see a man staring at me. Part 2 why you should think twice about letting kids stay home alone. Now our kitchen was an extension to the original house and had a flat roof that's competitively low compared to the rest of the house with easy access to the bathroom window. After my little brother Sonny yelled out, he had the biggest, proudest smile I'd ever seen on his face. I don't think I'll ever forget the way Sonny's face dropped when he looked above my head. I looked up and saw a man sitting on the roof staring down at me. He panicked and tried to kick me, then ran off into the neighbor's garden. I was terrified and Sonny was bawling his eyes out. I ushered him inside as quickly as possible and grabbed a knife from the kitchen. We went into his room and I tried to get him to sleep as I waited for our parents to get back. It was an agonizingly long 4 hours before they did. My stepdad immediately went outside to check to see if everything was alright. I heard them talking about how something had smashed the fuse box. We obviously called the police, but they didn't come until later the next day. They did an immediate search and found a makeshift bed in a nearby disused barn along with pictures of silhouettes of us in the shower through the frosted glass. The whole experience shook us up and we moved as soon as we could. However, because of this I always shut the curtains whenever I can and I see shadows underneath every door I see.
Okie dokie, so bit of a backstory. Me and my best mate started a business together. We built a custom kitchen in her home that's separate from her own kitchen and we make custom cakes from there every week. So last year during COVID, we thought, let's chuck some of the videos up on TikTok and see how they go. And well, they didn't do very well at all. So I guess I kind of sat down and had to think about how I could improve and maybe get a little bit more traction on here. And I came up with the voiceover idea. So all the videos that I used to do were just videos of cakes with music on them. And as soon as I added my voice onto the videos, they started to get seen, I guess. And yeah, the rest is history. All of the cakes that you see on my TikTok page are for paying customers. We are unfortunately not in a position where we can just make cakes for the sake of it. The one in this video was a graffiti brick wall skateboard theme for a 7-year-old. And no joke, this part of it, doing the TikTok videos, has become one of my favourite parts of the job. It's really fun.
Can I stay a bit longer? stay forever.